That's it.
Yeah, Puckpedia is it. Speaking of things that are new, this is something we haven't done in a while. My name's Yusuf. That's Tyler, and we have Alex here. Welcome to a little podcast Tyler and I used to do called Up the Boards, where we talk about all things hockey shenanigans. We're back because we have to. Hockey is like at its best right now. Boys, what do you got to say about this season?
Thanks for having me. First of all, glad to be here.
Glad you could be here.
The on ice product right now quite literally could not be better as a league, and I've been a fan since I was like a kid. So I'm the Orange County native Ducks fan for everybody who might be wondering that, and seeing the ups and downs of a franchise. Right now, we're on the way, hoping turning it back up a little bit here, but I'm super down to talk hockey. The league is crazy right now, and there's about to be a feeding frenzy in a couple days.
And Tyler really likes the Rangers.
I do really like the Rangers.
Yes, you
but I
do.
also live in Nashville, so I root for my local Predators. I grew up in the DC area, so root for the Capitals a little bit, and I just go to all the stadiums and I have a nice jersey collection behind me, which is not in frame, but I've been to like 10 different stadiums, so
Gotta start hanging them up. Meanwhile, I of course represent our Detroit Red Wings while living in Toronto. So
nobody's perfect, Yusuf.
yeah, well, speaking of nobody's perfect, I guess this is a great way to start. It's so weird that it's the end of June. We're getting close to the draft, and the Stanley Cup Finals are already over, which is kind of nice. But it's weird that there's no hockey before the draft because the NHL is so bad at scheduling the Stanley Cup Finals.
It helps when one of the teams just quits mid-series. So
yeah,
they did. We all watched Game 6.
yeah.
They quit.
So if you live under a rock, the Florida Panthers are once again Stanley Cup champions. And they, I think, beat the crap out of the Oilers is the best way to put it.
That's the polite way.
That's the polite way to put it, yeah. And now the Oilers have lost back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, which is... that's rough. What's there to talk about? I mean, like, boys, what are your thoughts? How did the Florida Panthers look this year for you?
I mean,
At least, like, with these playoffs. Besides, the greatest team on earth.
it's very simple, but Bob. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like all that has to be said, in my opinion. Like, why they're so dominant is, the year they got $10 million and everyone made fun of him, and then, he now has won back-to-back cups, and
Yeah.
I say he because he quite literally kept them in every game. I mean, there was a highlight reel save in every single game. And if you looked across the ice for 2 straight years, the Oilers have not had what I would call a starting goalie. So,
Hey, don't you talk about Stuart Skinner like that. The man who, up until the Stanley Cup final, had either a shutout or a below 850. How dare you?
I mean, I'm just
I know
putting
you're
out there. I
spinning it
don't-
out there.
I just don't know if he's as good as like the Bob caliber of player. So I think really that's like the big takeaway for me is like you still need a goalie. Like the Avalanche winning with Kemper. Like Kemper, had a good season this year, so I don't know if he's really as bad as everyone said he was, but like I think
Yeah,
something is
I'm
what
sure.
killed the Oilers for like the 18th straight season.
Absolutely. Alex?
I mean, the Florida Panthers assembled a infinity gauntlet of death. They were so deep. I mean, you can say that about any playoff team. Everybody who made the conference finals was deep, right? But Florida, they're so consistent line to line. They are all committed to one direction, moving one direction as a team. And just shout out Bob. I forget where I saw the stats, so I'm probably not going to be exact about it. But essentially, there's the importance of facing the first shot back after your team spent a whole bunch of time in their offensive zone, right? And so you have Skinner would withstand a bunch of shots because the Panthers would keep the puck down there. And what Bob is great at doing is being still so dialed in when Connor McDavid comes down the next end and they get a quick shot on. It's like all of his highlight reels are shutting down the fast break or shutting down the quick shot off the entry, and he's there. And that stability, that's just playoff stability. That's what John Sebastian Jaguar looked like, locked in. And He is. And then as a team, they're so committed. And as an organization, they're so committed. I was just listening to 32 Thoughts just yesterday, and they talk about how their organization is just set up for stability and success and being elite at every level, from PT to just how they grind it out at practice. And they're class act of the league right now. They don't care about the regular season. They don't need to.
The regular season doesn't matter. The regular season never mattered. It's a testament to how well the Florida Panthers, to how Bill Zito built that team over the last couple of years, and how well drafting was that they've done over the last 4 or 5 years, basically 6 years, if anything. Where Steve Dangle brought this up on the podcast. The fact that during the Cup final, if they decided, oh, Barkov, you're not going to chase down McDavid, get Anton Lundell up there, and Anton Lundell can handle McDavid no problem. Their third line center is chasing after and shutting down the best player in the world. Like, yeah, just go. It's fine. We'll do it. It works. I'm like, yeah. Talk about having faith in your players. Talk about having faith in guys that, quit. Like, not Anton Lundell because he got drafted by Florida, but other guys on that team, like, that got kind of casted away. And you look at where they are now, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. So, to the Florida Panthers, congrats. You did it again. What does Edmonton do? Besides get a goalie? And what are they willing to, what are they even going to do at this point in trying to find a goalie?
There's being a Twitter GM, and then there's being a good GM. And I have a feeling that Edmonton is going to stand more pat than people want them to. I think their fan base is going to want to see a big move, and I don't think they're going to do it because they've shown they're not willing to overpay. We found out this last deadline, the forever tradable John Gibson had been linked to Edmonton, and partially he didn't want to go there, and also partially, Edmonton didn't want to pay the price that Verbeek was asking for. He's not going to just give John Gibson to the Oilers and then make them a continual problem for him. They've already got Enrique and Perry hanging out up there. Don't send another Duck up there. But I think they'll look to the goalie market. They might do something brash. They might look around at other goalie prospects that are hanging out, but that's really the only area they need to improve, and then try and convince Connor to get that extension signed early. But I don't think that's happening this summer.
I'm not convinced he stays, but that's a whole other
topic. Tyler's already in his mind. He's like, Connor McDavid's gonna look so great in our Rangers jersey.
I mean, I think he'll look good in any jersey, but yeah, like the Rangers jersey particularly, I think would look very nice on him. But Yusuf knows my strong opinions on Connor McDavid. He's a great player, but I also he's not a very strong personality, which I also.
One of my favorite things Tyler has ever said, when we used to do this on not the regular, but every other now and then, we were talking about a Connor McDavid interview, and Tyler's, if I remember correctly, the quote was, Connor McDavid has the charisma of a can of paint.
Something like that, yeah. But
something along those lines. And I kind of sat there like, oh, I guess you're kind of right. You'd rather watch paint dry than hear him talk, but I mean,
he's just not a leader in my mind. It really bothers me. I know this sounds so stupid, but I think it matters when you're paying someone like 12 mil, 13 mil a year to kind of lead your team.
I think he just falls into the classic bucket of NHL personality who took too much media training.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a league-wide thing. There aren't really personalities that,
not everyone's a good
personalities who are also elite at the same time.
That's fair.
Nah, that's one way to put it.
Just look at an Ovechkin and a Crosby though. They just had such a good personality. Even Stamkos has more of a personality.
Yeah, it's fair. Stamkos actually does have a great personality. I mean, Connor, I think part of it is just how jaded he is. This is now year 10. He's finishing up in the league, year 9, and he's won all the individual accolades you could think of that he'd be up for. He's won a Conn Smythe. Doesn't have a cup. Yeah. Ugh. And I think the thing with his extension is I feel like the Oilers are going to try to find whatever way they can to get this done as fast as humanly possible, but I feel like Connor's making the right move of potentially holding out on signing that extension until probably August, probably right before training camp. And if I'm Connor McDavid, because, you're captain of the team, you are the best player on that team, not named Leon Draisaitl, you've got a lot of pull, and you should be having a lot of say on that team. Maybe not LeBron-style pull of, like, literally figuring out how your team runs. But if I'm Connor, I'm telling the front office at the Oilers, either find us a goalie or you can kiss that extension goodbye.
I hate to be the bigger bad news. There's not a whole lot of goalies out there on the free agency market this year.
I'll have you know. Yeah, I know. Free agency. Well, that's the problem, is they'd have to trade at this point, right?
I wonder if the target becomes a UPL.
That's what I honestly.
That's actually not a bad thought. I never thought of that though, huh?
The Sabres proved to continually be being dysfunctional, and their timeline is clearly not now.
Well, hold on. The Sabres dysfunctional?
They conveniently grabbed the Sabres jersey goalie they got rid of, who turned out to be a total bust. Let's see, where is it?
Oh, is it of our favorite boy? Is it Ryan? Oh, Linus Olmark! I forgot he was a Sabre.
It's convenient. I had that there.
It is convenient.
Remarkable.
But yeah, I mean, like, an Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen would definitely be. It's so much fun to say his name about, like, fast. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Top 5 name in the league.
Oh, absolutely. Like, buttery name. But he'd definitely be a good pick if... The thing is, what does Buffalo want back? Because it's Buffalo we're talking about. They could want, like, the stupidest return package.
Help.
Well, that too.
I think they're going to trade for, like... I think, honestly, the Buffalo Bills are just a farm system for the... This is going to sound stupid. They're just a farm system for the Bills. So they're just going to,
they're just going to rotate
the football team.
Josh Allen, come on down. You are a Buffalo Sabre.
Well, so I got the free agents pull up. It's a hell of a list.
Are there any goalies on the free agent market this year?
Who's so?
Okay.
Jake Allen. Vitek Vanacek, Georgiev, and Anton Forsberg are like the top 5.
So,
honorable mention to Dan Vladar and Ilya Samsonov.
So no one.
Yes.
While we're on goalie chat, Lukáš Dostal is an RFA.
Oh yeah, but the Ducks are going to make sure to give him
Verbeek is not letting him go.
Verbeek's not letting Lukáš Dostal go.
Simply not happening. The Oilers could choose to hold the Ducks cap space captive if they wanted.
They could, but I doubt they do that.
Just want to say, it is his birthday, Lukáš Dostal, today.
Is it really?
So, happy birthday to Lukáš.
Yeah, I don't know. The Oilers, people have been talking about how, defense needs this help, and Matthias Ekholm keeps getting hurt, and yada, yada, yada. And everyone's like, yeah, but Stuart Skinner is a pumpkin, and Calvin Pickard's a pumpkin. And no offense. Like, here's the thing. They're both NHL goalies. They are good at what they do, that they made the NHL. However, this is a glaring problem that they're going to need to figure out fast. Otherwise, McDavid's probably out of there.
I wonder if it's a next deadline thing. Right? Clearly, the tandem they have in-house is good enough to generate results in the regular season. It is. They've been running our division for the last little while here, and they might pay a bigger price come deadline, but I think some more goalies might be on the table come deadline.
Well,
possibly.
I mean, honestly, if I'm the Oilers, I would go try to get Elvis Merzlikins.
Oh,
because I think if you offered the right stuff, Columbus would move, and I feel like it'd be kind of fun. I feel like he's actually a little bit better than what they got, and I feel
Elvis would be a good
fit. I don't know why. There's just something right about that.
That's a good one.
I don't know. The more we go, though, I feel like we're talking about other teams and options and who might move a goalie to Edmonton or who they could target. This offseason is filled with more teams who think they're the hot stuff right now.
Yeah.
Teams who think that their window is opening with the right couple moves. And there's only like one true seller in the league. Couple true sellers, 3 to 4, but only one team with like assets people would want, and that's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take part of the year to realize that certain teams are available or certain assets are available.
Well, on that note, though, I was thinking about if you're talking about teams that are willing to sell, there's a particular team that has the first overall pick this year that should be rebuilding, quote unquote, considering they have the first overall, and they've got a goalie that is, on a good day, really good in Ilya Sorokin. The Oilers could maybe hit up the Islanders, give them a call, be like, hey, what do you want for Sorokin? Because I feel like a change of pace for him would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A change of scenery might be good for him out of the Islanders, because right now, they literally are about to pick someone first overall. Hopefully it's James Higgins and just completely mess up the whole draft. But if they're going to start the rebuild, is keeping Sorokin worth it for the Islanders? Would that be an option for them maybe on draft day? Oh.
I mean, it could happen, but the rumors I'm hearing from what I've heard from insiders and stuff is, for whatever reason, Dobson stuff keeps leaking out.
Yeah, that's been a big thing the last couple of days, is everyone apparently wants Noah Dobson. And the Islanders have been contacting teams about Noah Dobson.
Are you telling me a 25-year-old right shot defenseman is desirable?
Yes.
A good one at that.
A good one,
it's
mind
crazy.
you.
What a
Yeah,
concept.
insane, right? Apparently they don't want to sign him, but yeah, they're willing to give up Noah Dobson. And that's the thing. If they're willing to sell Dobson, what are the chances they are going to focus on the rebuild and be willing to sell Sorokin? If the Oilers do pick up the phone, I feel like Sorokin might be a fun little choice for them. On that note, I do want to talk about something else. So guys, Alex, since you mentioned what insiders are saying, what media is saying, things like that, there's this crazy thing that's been going on around the NHL, especially mainly with fans, not so much the media, but mainly with fans. If fans have been complaining, well, they complain about everything, but they've been complaining after Florida won the Stanley Cup again that, these states don't have state income tax, so they get away with everything. Like Tampa, when they won back-to-back. Well, Florida has no state income tax. The Dallas Stars, why are they so good? Well, Texas has no state income tax. Is it finally time that we put that argument away because it's getting ridiculous? Or do you feel like it's just going to keep going for whatever reason?
Well, I live in a state with no income tax.
That you do.
And, I think this applies to the NFL as well and the NHL. And, the Tennessee Titans are good enough that they picked first overall, and the Nashville Predators were in the bottom 10 in the league this year. So,
Well, okay,
I don't
so...
know if it matters all that much.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so you bring it up... Sorry, Alex, before you get to this, you bring up the Predators. When they made the Stanley Cup final in 2017, I didn't hear anyone going, oh, it's because of that damn not having a state income tax.
I think it's the LTIR issue, but that's a whole other...
Agreed.
It's definitely the
That's
LTIR.
issue that people are going to actually take a look at with the CBA. But no, the whole no state income tax thing, it's just it's another thing to point at and laugh at. I'm going to cite my depressing Anaheim fandomship here and take a look across the freeway at this little baseball team called the Anaheim Angels. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Actually, they dropped Anaheim. Thanks.
Did they really?
Yeah, they dropped Anaheim. It was a transition thing. Thank you, Artie Marino.
Of course.
Here's the thing. Hockey owners they run their organizations a little bit more like businessmen than some other sports owners. At the end of the day, though, what people have figured out in other sports and other organizations is that your franchise will print money if you commit to building a winner, right? The Florida Panthers have like a massive training facility that they just are flashing images about. It's a multi-million-dollar facility. It's phenomenal. If you give your players the space to build and develop and grow, and the staff to help them build and develop and grow, and commit to players to help your team win, fans will show up, fans will buy beer, fans will buy jerseys. You make your money back. It's kind of just like I don't want to hear a team making an excuse about income tax when it comes to not being able to sign players. Maybe build a culture, maybe focus on look at yourself before you start looking at a silly excuse like state taxes. These guys they're making money. Everybody's making so much money. It's not relevant.
Well, I also think like if I'm a player, right? Like let's use like a nice hockey generating country like Finland. I'm a kid from Finland. I grew up in Finland my whole life. Like, dude, you tell me I get to live in a place that's summer all year long. I get to go to the beach whenever I want. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that sounds pretty nice.
It does. Yeah.
Like that kind of, I feel like I gotta contribute a little bit. Like, if I'm a free agent, it's like, well, I could go play in like Winnipeg, or I could play in Florida and chill on the beach all summer. Kind of a nice little, like, nice area to be. Like, pair that with the nice facilities and everything they're doing down there, and like the fans are all pretty diehard. I mean, like, it's not a bad place to be.
No, I think there's a lot more factors than state income tax that the players are worrying about. Not to like, well, we've got a Rangers fan and the Ducks fan on the call. Let's talk about Jacob Trouba.
Oh boy, here we go.
Like, I mean, first off, I just got to get this one-liner out. If you told me that at the beginning of the 23-24 season, at the beginning of 24-25, that by 25-26, I would have Trouba, Kreider, and blank free agent on my roster, I'd be like, what the hell happened? Coming off of the 23-24 season. But, it was a thing that came out. Trouba waived his no trade to come to Anaheim because of thinking about his wife, they have families, especially the older players, and they have considerations of what is going to go into it there. Trouba's wife is a medical resident. So Southern California, great place to come be a medical resident and a doctor. There are so many factors that they have to think about, and
Yeah.
it's complicated. It's not just about state income tax, although it helps your paycheck be a little bit bigger, but they're thinking about more than just that.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, right.
Absolutely.
Wow. It's you're definitely right. It's just another thing for people to point at and be like, that's the reason. It's that thing right there. That stop winning. Okay, well, why isn't your team winning? Like, look at the Dallas Stars, right? Everyone's complaining about Florida winning another cup. And everyone goes, well, Texas doesn't have a state income tax. Why'd you guys shit the bed again in the Western Conference Final? Was it?
Cowboys are successful too.
Talk about sports franchises that print money without any results.
Oh,
Exactly.
Jeez.
What? Did someone say the Toronto Maple
That
Leafs?
was bad.
Where? Oh Lord, I it's just one of those things. Well, they are. I know there was. They've been talking that there's going to be a new thing in the CBA where they're going to start looking at LTIR differently, which is going to be good. Thank God they're finally going to tackle that. You're telling me Mark Stone doesn't have to go on LTIR game 1 of the season? Great.
I think we've all seen the Friedman report where his idea of where he thinks it's going to end up is that your roster in the playoff, your lineup that you send out on the ice has to be under the cap,
Which
but
makes
your roster can have people over cap.
total sense. Perfect. It's the perfect answer, honestly.
I think
However, it's gonna if that's what they do, I can see some very funny conversations that have to happen. You have a guy making 10 come off injury in a series, and he starts looking at a guy who's been earning his spot and grinding every day, making 8.5, and he says, "Sorry, we can't afford it. They're going to play me tonight. You're making you're making too much money."
No.
Like,
Hey, Edmonton Oilers bottom 6, we can't make space for you because Darnell Nurse makes way too much money.
not to just make it all an Edmonton pod, but what?
Not to make it an all.
Bouchard, like, I mean,
So
they're
apparently
in trouble in the next couple of years, but the good news for them is the cap is going up. So
Yeah.
they could just become the next big four, right? We see how well that worked out for Toronto, but they could. I mean, they'll do what they'll do, but
I know. Apparently, there's a rumor that Bouchard's next contract is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of $10 million. So have fun figuring that out, Edmonton. Why'd you pay Darnell Nurse all that money? We still don't know. I don't think Darnell Nurse even knows.
Thankfully, they're not paying a goalie. Their combined goalie salary is like 3.5 or something like that.
Something. I think it's like just below 5. Yeah.
No, it's like 3.5. I just checked.
Oh, really? Oh my god.
It makes you wonder where the first buyout's going to be. Like we're Edmonton. Let's fast forward like 5 years. Maybe we don't need to go that far forward, but just 5 years forward. Where's the buyout? You're going to still be competitive if you have McDavid and Draisaitl on your roster.
It might have to be Darnell Nurse.
Well, so
I feel like it could actually.
For those playing at home, the Oilers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 UFAs going into the 26-27 season.
Huh?
And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 this year, and then Bouchard.
Yeah. But Bouchard should be the number one priority.
I don't know about you guys, but I hear that number of UFAs in 2 years, and I just hear Mike Greer just screaming.
San Jose. Mike Greer is probably somewhere in like a little lair he has in San Jose, like just tiddling his fingers like this. He's like, soon I shall build the perfect team.
Oh, they are so close to that culture vet, bringing in the culture fit vet stage of their rebuild.
I think
they're there with Toff, and then how funny was that this season? Toff and the kids.
Yeah,
but
Tyler Toffoli.
They're going to bring in some more. Hopefully, they choose better than Radko Gudas. Or Alex Killorn.
Shout out! Yeah, I don't know how you guys are still dealing with Alex Killorn's contract, but hit my mic. So on the topic of the San Jose Sharks, because I feel like this is a great way to segue into it. The NHL draft is coming up, and this is, I wouldn't say it's a fun year because it's like the top 10 are probably what everyone's focused on, and then God knows what happens after that. Now, I have been hearing unbelievable amounts of rumors that there will be shenanigans at this year's draft, because we need a draft where there's shenanigans. It's been a little while since we had like good shenanigans at a draft. For example, the San Jose Sharks, right? If people are to believe, the New York Islanders are apparently hell-bent on taking James Higgins at first overall, meaning Matthew Schaefer and Michael Misa are going to be available at 2 and 3, meaning the San Jose Sharks will grab either their franchise defenseman of the future or another stud forward for their already stud forward lineup. What are the chances that San Jose decides, what if we just got another first round pick? What if we just, who's willing? What do we have to give up just to, here's my question for you guys, I guess. What is the most ridiculous thing you could think of that could possibly happen at the draft, considering there's a lot of weird teams in the drafting of the top 10 this year? The Predators are there, obviously. The Bruins are in there. Like, it's a mess. The Penguins, ugh.
In terms of shenanigans happening,
yeah,
you have to factor in the fact that this draft is going to be decentralized. So you can't, there's no like standing up in the middle of the draft floor and going, is that guy over there fucking with me?
Nah. That's true.
They're gonna use their sources. They're gonna leak their information. They're gonna everyone's gonna be lying. I mean, they're already paranoid. GMs are already so paranoid. So we'll see what happens when they're decentralized. We'll see it. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing with San Jose, right? They are committed to this rebuild, but they have shown that they've got some of the right pieces in place. And getting an extra first round pick, you're gonna set yourself back. That's true. You're gonna set yourself back a step. Now, is that gonna do them more help in the future potentially? Sure. The team I've got my eye on is Utah. I think they want to make a name for themselves. I think that they want to assert themselves. I mean, they were closer to the playoffs than you think this last year. Yeah, and they really were. Now, regardless of my opinion of their on ice product, which I can mention at the end here, they feel close, and they have an owner who wants to make a splash. We saw that last year at the draft. We saw that last year when they came out. Now they've got a mascot. Now they've got a branding push. They've renovated their stadium. They're going all in, and I can see them trying to make a draft day trade. And I don't know for where, but I think they're a team to keep an eye on.
Do you feel like they're going to try and draft another into the top 10 or top 15? Or do you feel like they're going to try to make a splash by, hypothetical, I don't think they do it, but trading the 4th overall pick and get a big name?
I think for them it depends on what's available.
Fair enough.
But it depends on what's available to them. I think that they're going to make a decision based on that exclusively. Who's willing to talk? Do I think they want to trade the 4th overall pick and get somebody? Probably. That's the route that I think they want to go. But a top 5 pick doesn't come around that often.
Right.
Unless you're like really tanking. And a top 5 pick when you're ascending and you only have to leapfrog, like 2 teams to find yourself in the playoffs now? I forget where they finished. 1 or 2 or 3 spots at most, right?
Yeah.
You want to build up for the arms race now, not tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyler?
All right. I think, do you want to we give you my 3 answers because there's 3 very simple answers. I think it's going to be incredibly boring. I don't think a single trade's going to happen. To be completely honest with you, every sport, there's going to be a massive nothing.
Oh my God.
It's like I really just watched the entire first round. And it's like, so, I hate to be a realist, but that's kind of a strong opinion there. I think, now the joke answer team for you, Yusuf, that is going to go out and make a splash, the Penguins are going to go trade for anyone from the Greyhounds. I don't care how it's going to happen.
Fair enough.
Any former Greyhound player.
Yep.
But,
they're already starting again. Dubas is like, Tim, come here. And everyone's like, what is that? Oh, he was a Greyhound.
Now, honestly, I think the teams, there's kind of 2 serious answer to your question. So I think the one team I could see making a huge trade would be Boston. I think if the right offer came for Jeremy Swayman, I think you're some shit out the door.
Okay.
I truly do. I don't know why, but it's just, he's good. But I also know there was a lot of tension last year with the whole Allmark situation, and Swayman was not happy.
Right.
So I think if the right trade offer came, you would see him shipped out because I think they're kind of accepting they're rebuilding a little bit.
I want to stop talking about this team, but Oilers, oh my God.
Dude,
call
it a hunch.
Call it a hunch. Jeremy Swayman on the Oilers?
Pretty good. Look good.
That would, yeah.
I think the other team to me that I could see making kind of an interesting move, I could see the Capitals trading out of their pick, trying to get more pieces to help Ovi. This is, probably going to be his last year, all things considered. And, I wouldn't want to draft, anything. I would trade all my picks and try to help him get one more. Honestly, this guy's giving you everything. Might just be an opportunity to...
Yeah, that's true.
Help
He's
him
broken...
one time. You'll slow down a little bit of the post-Ovi playing, but...
Yeah. He's broken the goals record. Might as well just go for another.
I also kind of agree that you can't, some of the things that went right for them this year, you can't count on happening again next year. Sorry, Dylan Strome. But what a season from him. Unbelievable. But not everything is going to go that way for them necessarily next year. And where they can retool, rebuild, fortify, Ovechkin and make a run, they aren't that far off.
No.
They've got the 10D, I think. They've got a great top 6. They've got some young skill.
Yeah.
They've got some grit. Just fill in some more depth here.
Yep.
Find your Brad Marchand.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they got first round pick for this draft, and they got one for next draft and the following draft. So just go out and make a move.
It's a good answer.
I think for me, the teams I'm looking at, Utah is definitely one of them because I like that they're so aggressive about everything that everyone's unsure of what exactly they have planned. Will they pick someone with that 4th pick? Will they trade the 4th pick? The way Ryan Smith talks about how the team is advancing after only their first season in the league makes me want to believe that they will trade the 4th overall pick for, a big name player and just make a statement. moving forward. Part of me wants to think that they're going to pick someone with the 4th overall pick and just go from there and build up what they already have. And they've already got a pretty good core over there with Keller, Krause, Dylan Gunther, right? Like, they've got a couple other guys coming up like Simashev. And Karl Vejmelka's not a bad goalie either. So they like Utah's definitely working, and now that they've got a brand, they've got an actual name to associate. Woolly Mammoth is actually kind of cool.
The jersey looks like it's made of a generic NHL sports jersey.
We were on such a good streak of jerseys with Vegas and Seattle. And this is like fine.
See, I love the powder blue. I think it looks great.
Oh, that jersey's so good.
The Seattle jersey is really nice. Boston is one team, though, that I feel like they're going to be doing a lot of odd things this offseason. Swayman is a potential get out of there, but there's also been rumor that the Islanders are willing to ship off Dobson to them to get the 7th overall pick. And I'm like, do I like the idea of Charlie McAvoy and Dobson together on a rebuilding Bruins team? I don't think so. But Don Sweeney's got his job to keep, so.
I mean, on the Bruins front, I've heard from Bruins fans, NHL personality Bruins fans on the internet that feel they are closer to the Blackhawks than they are to the Panthers.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that is, a rebuild is probably warranted. A restructure a little bit. Sorry, I mean they've got some fun pieces. They've got some good, really good players on that team, but like.
Not as many as you'd think, though.
Yeah. I think the problem...
No, exactly. You think, oh, it's Boston. They're going to have everything.
Yeah.
And then you take a close look at the roster, and you realize where some of the holes are.
Well, they're where some of the holes are, but then you also look at, like, if you want to name off the 3 key pieces that the Bruins have left, it's Pastrnak, McAvoy, and Swayman. Swayman might be on his way out, which then leaves Pastrnak and McAvoy. Now...
You also have Elias Lindholm and Hampus Lindholm.
Shut the Elias Lindholm.
If I had a nickel for every Boston GM shitting a brick this month, I'd have 2 nickels, and that's too many nickels.
Yeah, that's a lot more than you need. Oh yeah, I forgot Rafael Devers got traded. God.
For those playing along at home.
Oh man, the Red Sox
pulled up. The Red Sox are imploding.
The strangest trade ever. But we're not talking about baseball right now. Oh yeah, we're not talking about baseball right now. So the Bruins have a lot of problems, and one of them does have to do with Mr. Elias Lindholm and all the money they spent on Mr. Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov and all the other ridiculous money they spent. Because if you want to restructure this team around Pastrnak and McAvoy, you're going to have to do a lot of moving, but there's going to be a lot of teams looking at you going, well, you overpaid for them. You're going to have to overpay to get them out of here. So figure it out, Bruins. Figure it out. Right.
I'd put a flyer on Hampus again.
Yeah?
Bring him back.
There you go. I don't think the Red Wings would want Elias Lindholm. I think we're good there. But, I mean, if they're willing to ship off Charlie McAvoy, I'll take Charlie McAvoy.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Exactly. Hell, we'll take Swayman.
It's almost unthinkable if they're actually considering that. Like, that is a relationship they fumbled.
Absolutely.
That is a contract negotiation they fumbled. That is a elite goalie they are fumbling around with. And to even think that that's on the market is pretty ridiculous, in my opinion.
Well, Don Sweeney has done stranger things. So you never know.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. On that note, speaking of time will tell, after the draft's done, actually, you know what? I have one last thing to say about the draft. I have a very sneaky suspicion that outside of the top 10, let's say top 15, we might see a random trade here and there. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think the Toronto Maple Leafs might actually do something. Shocker, I know. Tyler's like, damn it, I kept telling you to stop believing.
Don't speak. Yeah, stop believing. Just stop. Give up.
I know. It's just a matter of, you need to address certain things, and the fact that we'll get to the elephant in the room in a second. The fact that he's gone now, they're going to have to figure out a plan to fill in that gigantic hole. So I feel like the Leafs might do something ridiculous and trade off their first rounder, just to be like, you know what, fine, we'll just get whatever we need and we go from there.
See, I don't think they will. I think they're going to hold on to it because I think they're going to wait for the deadline. And they're going to go get a forward.
You know who's going to do a little mini transaction in the draft? Like, we're going to see like late first round trade or late early second round trade, and it's just going to be like a little flip flop, move some money around. It's going to be Dallas.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Oh yeah,
they are prepping to. They're trying to retool their cap right now. I don't think they want to trade Robo anymore. I think they saw what the market is and went, let's just keep Robo.
Don't break my heart. I was so ready for him in a Red Wings jersey.
I think every team was voted.
Exactly. Everyone's ready for Robo.
Like, that would have been like crazy overreaction to losing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But like the moves they've pulled the last couple of days, they're just shifting around their cap space. They want to keep who they've got. How much of a discount is Jamie Benn going to take? Does he want to take a discount? I think he wants to.
I think he will.
Is Dallas willing to give him that much cap space?
Yeah.
But how much money has he made throughout his career? He's at the stage where you can kind of take a team-friendly deal for the team.
He could take a very team-friendly deal. Like, he could take the friendliest deal of them all. And it'll be fine, Jamie Benn. You've made plenty of money from being in the NHL. You'll be okay. Yeah, it'll be fine. But Dallas is definitely in a little bit of trouble with their cap right now. And I think for everything they're doing, because on the topic, we brought up extensions earlier with McDavid. Robo's due for an extension soon. So they're going to have to get that figured out. Michael Granlund, they're trying to get signed. At some point, Hintz is going to be up. Like, you got a lot of your key guys that you're going to need to pay very, very soon. So
I also think they're more focused on their coaching hire right now, too.
Hintz is good till 2030, by the way.
Is he really? Okay. I thought for some reason, I thought his contract was up in a couple of years. That's good.
2030.
Good. Okay.
They got Otter locked up for a long. They have the stuff they need locked up. I think they just need a little bit of a culture shift, and a new coach is going to do that.
Yeah.
And then keep the guys you like who like playing with each other.
Pretty much. So before we get on to the last bit of this, talking about free agency and whatnot, I find it hilarious that they decided to let go of Pete DeBoer as soon as all the head coaching jobs were filled up. Like, just the funniest timing. Like, all the head coaching jobs were officially filled up, and then Dallas went, by the way, bye, Pete.
That was pretty funny in perspective.
Yeah.
Because the teams who desperately needed new coaches were getting on their stuff early. But
Yes.
I think their season ended. They probably went to exit interviews. And, I mean, I think he shot himself in the foot there.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is before that game, before the interview, no one would assume that DeBoer's job was going to be on the line there. Right? I don't know. Tyler?
I mean,
I know how you feel about Pete DeBoer before you start.
I just don't think he's that damn good, to be honest with you.
So,
if he was a good coach, he'd be hired, right? Like, every 10 years, like 3 to 4 years, and he, goes, and it's only subpar in the playoffs, and then he gets fired and he goes to the next place, and it's the same thing year in and year out. Like, I don't know, like.
For context, Tyler and I have this thing that happens. There's two specific coaches that every time they get fired from a team, Tyler will immediately text me, "I told you so." They are Gerard Gallant and Pete DeBoer.
I mean,
every time.
It makes sense. I mean, and it's not like he's getting around with good teams too. Like,
right.
The amount of times I realize like how many good rosters he's been behind the bench on. Like, I'll be watching old NHL highlights and see him there, and I'm like, what?
Also, and that's the craziest thing is his playoff track record is insane to me.
He's elite in Game 7s.
He's elite. He's undefeated in Game 7s, which is insane still to this day. In his last 6 playoff appearances as a head coach, he has made the conference final 5 out of 6 times. Wow.
I just don't like him.
I know. It is like he has been so blessed with having some great rosters, whether it was like the late 2000s San Jose roster, Vegas, Dallas. Like, he's just had a great time and yet cannot get anything done.
Every time I watch the comeback on Catella, I'm reminded that he was on the bench for Edmonton.
Was he really? Oh my god. I did not remember that.
I hate this man so much. I just don't like him. He's just not good. Like, when it comes to like the actual important time where it's like, we need a coach to be a coach, he just always shits the bed. I think that's my biggest issue. It's like, regular season great, Game 7's fine, but it's like, I don't know. It's like when it comes down
he might be the Doc Rivers of the NHL,
dude.
Except he doesn't have a ring yet.
All he had to do this year was not blame the goalie.
Yeah,
and it probably would have been fine.
He would still have a job.
When it's very clearly not the one guy's fault, and you blame the one guy, it just feels like everyone on the team like, you're kind of an asshole, man. Like, why would we want you to coach for us?
Can't wait to find
I
out
think
that he's
they've got
going to
some
be
good internal candidates from stuff Friedman has been saying.
Yeah.
They've got good internal candidates. They are also interviewing outside. They're going to make a decision on, and they'll have somebody good, and the team's going to be fine next year.
They're a well-run organization.
Yeah,
they're fine.
Jim Nill is such a great GM. I don't worry about how they're going to fit.
Here's the funny thing, though. Where do you think Pat DeBoer ends up? Do you think he takes a short hiatus and winds up on a bench in like 2 years? That's like the typical cycle.
Yeah, he'll do the year off and then get a job the following year.
And we'll probably laugh at whichever team signs him.
Is it weird that I think he might become the next head coach of the Oilers?
They're not going to fire Knobloch after.
Oh, no, they're not firing.
Of getting to the Cup. No.
Yeah, they're not going to fire him.
Your Detroit Red Wings.
I like Todd McClellan.
No, I think Chicago's going to bring him in when Bedard is at his last rope.
Next season.
No, Bedard's more patient than McDavid. We talked about this.
Yeah, he is.
David's kind of whiny.
A little. Bedard, I mean, for everything Bedard's got to deal with right now, like, not even his fault. It's just that the organization's got a lot of skeletons they got to still, get it
They're
to.
getting there. They got Spencer. They're fine.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, right? They have noted our son, Spencer Knight.
Yes, our child.
We have believed in Spencer since day one. And I hope he actually does well in Chicago. I actually really hope he does well.
I'm not worried about him. He's going to do great.
I know. All right, anyway. So, draft stuff besides that. Free agency this year, gentlemen, is, I fully believe, either going to be a lot quieter than we all assume it's going to be, or it's going to be just utter chaos for the first, day.
Do you want me to read off some notable free agents and across the board?
Yes, please.
Okay,
yes,
so
please.
I'll give you 10 UFAs and 10 RFAs according to Puckpedia.
Thanks, Puckpedia.
The Capitals hate us and destroyed Cap Friendly. Still mad at that one.
No.
Let's see. So UFAs that are notable according to Puckpedia: John Travaris, Mitchell Marner, Jamie
Heard of him.
Benn, Brent Burns, Dmitry Orlov, Aaron Ekblad, Ivan Provorov, Brock Besser, Claude Giroux, and Jeff Petrie are their top 10 UFAs. In the RFA department, we have Noah Dobson, never heard of him, Evan Bouchard, never heard of him, Keandre Miller, Bowen Byram's RFA, wow, Valdiri, let's see, Alexander Romanov, Cody Glass, Capo Caco, Nicholas Hogue, and Philip Kurashev.
You're telling me that the top 4 RFAs on that list happen to all be defensemen?
Yes.
That's funny.
There's going to be some offer sheet bloodbaths potentially.
Oh, I'm fully believing that.
Someone please take Keandre Miller. Please.
The New York to Anaheim pipeline is wide open. Not that I would want that, but
I was going to say, he doesn't play defense, so please
No, he
take
doesn't.
him.
No.
Keandre Miller.
Please help me.
No, thank you.
So going to RFAs, I feel like Bowen Byram's getting out of Buffalo because Buffalo doesn't know what it wants ever. So they're just gonna look at Bowen Byram and be like, "Be gone with you." He's coming here. He's coming to New York. Bowen Byram, isn't he from Vancouver?
Dude, let it happen. Just let it happen, Yusuf.
Yes, the Vancouver boy is going home to New York. All right, keep believing your propaganda. Keep believing your Rangers propaganda.
I will.
To be fair, there are a lot of friends of mine that work for small media sites back in Detroit that do fully have reason to believe that they could trade for Keandre Miller.
Yep.
So having Keandre on the Red Wings, I think might be might be good for us, considering we need something to help out Mo before Axel Sandin Pellick is ready to go. So you have that. Noah Dobson, we've already brought his name up a million times. If the Islanders do actually ship him out, it's going to be hilarious. Like, what are you doing anymore? We don't know.
We haven't mentioned it, but I mean, the Islanders have to make the deal. I think there's at least a 30% chance that he gets traded to a already like top of the league team, and there's
absolutely
nothing we can do about it.
Like I said, like I told you this a little while ago when we were like messaging each other about things. I fully believe we are close to a Noah Dobson breakout season. Like, he's going to have a season where they will look at him and go, okay, he's got to be considered for the Norris this year. Like, we're getting there. I feel like the change of scenery might do it, but we're getting close to a Noah Dobson breakout season. On the topic of the UFA,
is going to be super important, but I'm very high.
Yes, fit will be very important. On the topic of the UFAs, it just so happens that two of them are from our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. I can't. Tyler, go.
Our year.
Tyler, have your fun. Say whatever you need to. Where do you think Mitch Marner's going?
How long have I been on this, Yusuf? How long?
Since I met you, so that was 2015, 10 years now?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years.
Been on this.
Yep.
It's been over that in my part.
Oh, I know.
I've only known it for 10 years.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything.
I still think it's funny.
Leafs care about selling jerseys. That's all.
Yes, they do.
That is
yes, they do.
So, I mean, if Travers takes a very, very team-friendly deal, I think they'll keep him, to be honest with you. I don't see him really leaving.
Yeah.
I think he'll take a deal to stay in his hometown. Now, Mr. Mitchell, I think he's going to be gone.
Oh, he's absolutely. That's already been confirmed.
Yeah,
he's not staying in Toronto.
Oh, crazier things have happened.
He is crossing the border. He's going to be playing in the United States next year.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen all these beautiful things from Florida to Edmonton, which I just don't believe at all. I mean, the Sharks have the money to make anything happen. They have like $40 million. I mean, like they're very likely candidate. Who actually can afford him is a real question. Who can afford him? I mean, I don't know. Like,
there are the teams that actually do have the space that could afford Mr. Mitchell Marner. Because apparently his camp is asking for anywhere between 12 and 14 mil, which is a lot. But it's Mitch Marner. I get it, kind of. There is always
throw out a team where we think he's landing.
Columbus.
I'm gonna say Vegas. I think he's gonna go to Vegas.
They have no money. Well, I guess they have some money, but
they are the team that makes room when they want to. They will make room.
I'm gonna say the Carolina Hurricanes. Weirdly enough.
I love the fit, but I think he's gonna go west.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna go west. Vegas is such a ridiculous team to me because I have been hearing ever since they got knocked out of the playoffs that they are going to be doing something, like they are preparing themselves for like an insane acquisition in the offseason. As to what that could be, who knows? As to what they're going to sacrifice, who knows? It's Vegas. They'll do anything. Someone brought up to me yesterday, I was having lunch with, brought up the idea of, they should do a sign and trade. So Toronto signs the deal with Mitch and then trades him to Vegas. And I was like, there is no chance in hell Mitch Marner signs another contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs, even if it's for a trade. Not happening. And even then, what's the return going to be? Like, that's going to be a lot of key pieces Vegas is going to have to give up for Mitch.
I mean, we all have. I know Yusuf has seen it. I don't know if Tyler, if you've seen it, but there was a rumor that there was a 3-team trade lined up between Carolina, Toronto, and Vegas.
Oh, I saw that one. I forgot who it was, but I saw that one. I remember seeing
And
it.
it was gonna send Marner to Vegas. Miko was heading to Toronto, and I believe where it fell apart was Vegas and Carolina couldn't align on assets to make themselves happy. I believe Toronto was happy with it because why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, they'd be getting for
Negotiated
Miko
a deal
Rantanen.
where they got Miko.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm leaning Vegas, because that would have meant that likely Marner would have waived his NTC to go there. And if you already have that interest and they can make the numbers work, great. Now, as a biased fan, do I want Mr. Verbeek to write him a blank check and say, "Come be our top scorer, please, for the love of God"? Yes. But do I think that's going to happen? Probably not.
Well, I think that also leads to the conversation of a lot of times in free agency, especially when a big name is up for grabs, there comes the question of, is this team a blank player away from making the playoffs? Right? Like the Red Wings. If Steve Yzerman got out of his cave and gave Mitch Marner like the fattest check in the world, are we a Mitch Marner away from making the playoffs? I think we are, but I also think we don't need Mitch. Right? Like with the Ducks, Alex, do you feel like the Ducks are a Mitch Marner away from the playoffs?
You need a few things to go right, but yes,
Right.
I do. You need Q to work his magic.
Okay.
And actually have a message and get guys rolling and be better for development than Greg Cronin was a negative for player development. But yes, I think simply put, yes, he is a special teams guy. He is an elite skill set player, and those don't come around very often. And if you can find a way to add one through free agency to your team without hurting your prospects, I mean, I am higher on prospects than most in my fellow Orange country, but that's just me being a fan who isn't a little bit higher on their prospects than other fan bases, right? But I think so. My honest answer is no. Something's going to go wrong, and it wouldn't happen. But I think we're 2 years away. Do I think we're going to be close? Yes.
I don't know. Where do you think he's going to go? Where do you think Mitch is going to go? I mean, like, where if you had to say,
I mean, I already said Vegas. I think a sneaky pick is going to be the Kings.
there you go. Now we're getting somewhere. A team with actually some money to play with.
The Kings would be
They have
fun.
money to play with, and
They're good.
they're good. They have a culture. They have a culture there. They'd be adding elite scoring, and oh my God, I'm just sorry. I can't get over the fact that I'd have to watch Marner and Q.
Dude.
I don't want to. It pains me. I do not like watching that team play hockey. I do not like watching that team play hockey.
Well,
But I have to admit, when I know that they've got a good org, they've got good pieces, they've got money, like that's appealing, and
No.
Boston.
Huh?
Don't put it.
Imagine.
Like,
Do you understand what's going to happen if he shows up in Toronto in a Bruins sweater?
Number one, I think he's that mad at the Leafs he would. At number two,
That's true,
the
actually.
Bruins do have money.
Yeah.
And number three, I'm not quite convinced Sweeney thinks the team's rebuilding. So
You don't know. I feel like Utah could be like my dark horse pick to get Mitch.
Oh, Utah, he'd be so good in
Oh,
Utah.
hey, Mitch Marner with Keller, Krause. Oh, buddy. Disgusting.
yes, that could be gross.
Yeah.
that could be really gross. I'll drop another dark horse. Seattle.
I could see that.
I'll make the argument.
Okay.
They are dangerously close to getting stuck in the middle.
Yes.
They're dangerously close to getting stuck in the middle. What does adding a guy like adding an elite talent like Marner do? Helps you get out of the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely it does. But here's the thing. Would Marner want to go there? Probably not. I mean, they if he's as serious about going to a winner, they don't really have the stuff in place, and they're changing their head coaching and they're changing all of their coaches. So probably not viable from his camp, but from if we're playing roster manager. Could be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like the same thing.
What if Greer throws down? I was telling this idea to Yusuf the other day. What if Greer just throws down something stupid, something really stupid, like 319? Just like, I will make you the highest paid player in the league.
Well,
Come play here for 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, dude, he could. I mean, they have the money to do
They have the money to do whatever the hell they
Dude,
want.
that's why I said Columbus, because Columbus could be like, here's a check. Like, whatever number you run, right on it.
Yeah.
It's yours.
It's like, list your number. We will make it work.
Who is Columbus paying?
Yusuf, you're in Toronto.
I am.
How much do you think the media market stuff actually is going to play into this? Because every time somebody leaves Toronto, they say, oh, he's dodging major media.
Yes. This has been a thing for a long time now. I feel like it's actually going to play a significant part because for every other player that has gotten out of Toronto, I can name a handful that were definitely affected by media attention on them and hounding them. And everyone else kind of just flies under the radar, but they always do bring up, oh yeah, the media was kind of heavy. Players to think about and players to name. 3 in particular. Ryan O'Reilly, Nazem Kadri, and Phil Kessel.
There it is.
Who-
That's what I was looking for.
Who all, well, 2 of them got traded out and Ryan O'Reilly left. And they all said the same thing. The media is just way too heavy. Nas always talked about it. And I actually just finished reading Nazem Kadri's book. And there is a part towards the end when he talks about when he got traded and when he found out he got traded, that being in Colorado, like going to Colorado was like a breath of fresh air to him because the media does not give they care about the Avalanche, but they don't harp on the Avalanche, right? Unfortunately for Mitch, he's been a big talking point for a very long time by the media. So if I'm Mitch Marner, I'm going somewhere where I'm just going to be looked at as another hockey player on the team, and I can just do my job and play hockey.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack.
Mitch Marner as a Duck would actually be kind of
We
cool.
won't care. You can have a 1-year free pass. Just be on the team.
Just be on the team. I mean, the other thing too is
To shift a little bit here. I think that he is number 1, but how much he wants to wait, how quick he's ready to sign, those are all big factors. And we looked at this big UFA sheet, right? Teams want to move.
yes,
Teams want, it's been proven and proven again. You move first. If you move first, you can set yourself up much more strongly going forward. You get your plan, you get your guys, you get your ducks in a row early. You're set. And there's plenty of talent. You know who benefits from Marner wanting to wait a little bit, not wanting to sign the first day of free agency? A Nikolai Ehlers.
Huh?
He's an excellent, excellent, excellent piece. I think people forget how important he is to Winnipeg. And GMs know that, but I don't think general fans are aware of that.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting time. I think just to finish off the conversation about Mitch, wherever he lands is going to be, unfortunately, I just realized this, wherever he lands is going to be more media talk on him because it's going to be, oh, well, he went here and didn't stay in for blah, 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 but like, okay, whatever, like, he chose where he chose to go. And even then, like, Mitch has been in the league 8 years, 9 years now. He goes to a team like Anaheim. He's got the veteran presence to help out, and work with guys like Leo, work with guys. Oh my God, Cutter. Working with Mitch would be so much fun. On the same topic, like going to, if he goes to a San Jose, if Mike Greer just gives him a blank check and gives him whatever the hell he wants, Mitch Marner gets to mentor guys like William Eklund, Celebrini, Will Smith, probably Michael Misa if they end up drafting him. Like, it's just a rich abundance of talent that Mitch Marner will have under his wing, literally, and, proverbially, to mentor. And then when Mitch is done in like 3 or 4 years and he says he maybe goes somewhere else, that team is going to be significantly better thanks to the mentorship from a guy like Mitch Marner. So yeah. So Tyler, let's have a little bit of fun. all the UFAs, not all, that's too many people. The top 10 UFAs, there's a whole lot. The top 10 UFAs from Puckpedia. You're going to list each one of them one by one, and we're all going to name a landing spot for them, other than Marner. Right. So leave Marner out, whoever the 11th is. Read that one.
All right. John Tavares.
Toronto.
Islanders. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, he's gonna stay in Toronto.
I think he stays.
Yeah, I think he stays.
A friendly deal.
I think they figure out the team friendly deal. I think he ends up staying, and he'll probably walk off into the sunset as a Leaf.
Yeah.
Now, would that be funny if he didn't stay though?
Yeah, then he'll go to another team where they only ever make it out of the first round. He's never made it past the second round.
I'd be so happy. Honestly, I'd be actually happy if the Maple Leafs let him walk and Marner left. I actually would be so proud of them for breaking up the core four. Yeah. I'd be so happy. I'd be proud of them.
I think everyone would.
They'd finally have grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, next on the list is Jamie Benn.
Dallas.
Yeah, he's going to stay.
He stays, yeah.
Let's see. Brent Burns, at the ripe old age of 40.
Oh.
Carolina. Do you know how many minutes he was just playing for them in the playoffs?
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you want to be playing that many minutes at 40?
Yeah, that's the
He
thing.
does.
He does. Brent Burns is kind of indestructible. Him and Drew Doughty are like the same person, I swear to God. They are just indestructible defensemen that will never, ever regress. But Burns, he probably stays in Carolina, right?
I could see him going elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like where?
Where though?
I'm Washington. Bring him in. Fat guy. Give him on a $900,000 deal. Just let him $1 million deal. Let him coast off.
Yeah.
Come help over you win a cup.
Yeah.
That's your pitch. Get a second one.
Not a bad pitch.
Not a bad pitch.
No.
Either of the Florida teams could just say, hey, come hang out.
Exactly. I mean,
the whole Lightning?
Probably not the Panthers, but that's more of a Lightning.
Yeah, it's definitely a Lightning move.
Exactly. You got to find that team where it's like you're 40. Like, who's really going to go for it next year?
Nashville.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Exactly. Okay, Yusuf, let's be real for a minute. All right.
Okay.
All right, that brings us to Dmitry Orlov. He's only 33.
Is he really?
Yeah. I
thought he was older.
Nope.
Weird. Okay. Where could Dmitry Orlov go? I say the Caps.
Going back?
I think so.
I could see that.
Oh.
Utah.
That's a fun answer.
Okay. Yeah.
Ottawa.
That's also
They could use that. They could use Dmitry Orlov.
We probably should talk more about the Senators as players this offseason.
Oh, that's gotta be
excited.
Yeah,
very good.
We probably should talk about them more. They're probably going to do something that'll surprise a few people.
That's gonna be a conversation for later. Yeah, Ottawa's a good pick. Utah, honestly, if we want to be fun with it, I could see Dmitry Orlov landing in Seattle.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
I feel like Seattle would be a fun. They just be like, look over there, grabs Dmitry Orlov. Like, yeah. Again, every team has something they're trying to build. I just don't know what the hell's going on in Seattle anymore. But Dmitry Orlov would fit whatever the hell's going on there. No.
All right. Aaron Ekblad.
Detroit.
Okay. Now let's do a real one.
What? Florida.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay. I think there's unfinished. Well, I think
unfinished business. He just won back-to-back Stanley Cups.
I think he'd like a third. I think he keeps.
I think they let him go.
That's true,
I think he wants a third, dude.
Yeah.
They got the dream team right now. Like, do you really think they let him leave?
Not to mention the fact that they got Seth Jones for like nothing. Him and Ekblad, disgusting.
Dude,
I love Brandon Montour, but they let him go.
They did.
They are not letting go Ekblad.
Yeah, they're probably not going to go Ekblad.
Ekblad has to stay.
Yeah. I can dream, but realistically, there's no way Florida lets him go.
That would be fun in Detroit. That would be.
He
fun.
would be very fun in Detroit as our second line right-hand D behind Mo. Oh, beautiful. But a man can dream.
He's gonna just stay.
Probably
They're gonna
stays.
sign him. Or we're all gonna be amazed.
Yeah.
Goes to Ottawa. I can see Ottawa too.
Everyone goes to Ottawa.
Ivan Provorov. Austin Glover not doing Mitch because the 11th one I completely forgot about. It's actually the exciting one.
Oh, no.
Shit.
Ivan Provorov. Alex, would you like to start?
Huh. I don't know what to do with this one.
Yeah, I don't know where you would.
I don't know what to do with this one.
I feel like Ivan Provorov would fit one of two places, oddly. Winnipeg or San Jose. There's a really strange spectrum of answers. Because having an Ivan Provorov is nice for a team like Winnipeg as like a depth guy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say Winnipeg.
I also don't quite know why you leave.
Right.
Columbus just successfully built something.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, he could stay in Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see. Brock Besser.
So I have been hearing rumor that he is potentially going to Minnesota.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
There's a rumor that the hometown boy is going back to Minnesota, but obviously we won't know until July 1st or sometime after that. But for me,
not staying in Vancouver. I'm 100% positive on that.
I think he's on his way home, especially now that a lot of the dead cap is off the books for the Wild. This is now going to be their time to start throwing out money, and I think Brock Besser is the first of that. Tyler?
Brock Besser, you are a New York Ranger.
God damn it.
Dude, we have money.
I know you have money.
To your credit, that's also a really good fit.
Yeah.
We need a guy who could be a top line forward. I mean, I actually genuinely, this feels like a good home.
Yeah.
Bring him home, Drury. Bring him home.
If only.
It'd be so beautiful. Got rid of Kreider. We could do it now.
Yeah.
He and Miller didn't have any problems, did they?
No.
No. They were fine.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
So long as there's no one on that team with the last name Patterson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Oh.
That could be a fun one.
Bring him with his friend.
Yeah.
And then Claude Giroux.
I think he stays in Ottawa.
Yeah,
he's staying in Ottawa.
Oh. Yusuf, you get this one. Jeff Petrie.
Oh, noted Detroit Red Wing Jeff Petrie, son of noted Detroit Tiger Dan Petrie. I don't think he stays in Detroit. Well, then again, we've got some other problems to deal with. Like, we still have to buy out Justin Hall, and Ben Sherrod still exists. So,
Colorado?
I could see that. It'd be a fun one.
Now, I don't know what Colorado thinks they're doing. I think they can't decide what they want to do, so it's hard to say. There's a lot of players that would be good fits.
Colorado's very.
They have no money, and their goalies are kind of mid.
Yeah, no money. Their goalies are mid, and they literally let go of Mikko for no reason because they were terrified of not having enough money for
Kale. Yeah. Wow. I think Jeff Petrie stays in Detroit. Realistically, probably gets a little friendlier of a deal, not like what we were paying him before. But if he were to leave, honestly, maybe the Flyers.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could see the Flyers
Be
grabbing
kinda
Jeff
fun.
Petrie.
That does read well.
Yeah,
That does feel very.
It reads like a
Flyers.
Flyers move.
it would.
very
It would feel
Flyers, yeah.
very Flyers. Yeah.
This also has Pittsburgh. I don't know why, but this just seems like a real Pittsburgh move.
Pittsburgh would be getting him back then, which
Don't think
that's
that
not
matters.
not worth it for Petrie. Pittsburgh, who cares?
Money.
It's just a matter of time till they trade Evgeny Malkin.
Or Crosby.
Or Crosby. He's going to look so great in Avalanche colors.
All right, and that brings us to our Mr. 11, our final free agent, Mr. Bradley Marchand.
Florida does not have a lot of money
No.
to play with. They can only...
19.
They will... How much?
They're like 19, I think.
It's actually not that bad. Well, okay, do me a favor. Can you please load up Florida's Puckpedia page? Thank you. I know.
That's how I got 19.
Exactly.
Let's see. They have Marchand, Nosek, Bennett, Sturm, a 22-year-old prospect as agents, and then we got Megna, Schmidt, and Ekblad.
Ekblad and Bennett have to be staying. But that's going to be... I think Bennett stays.
If it's cheap, I think Brad will stay. He's 37. He doesn't get that much longer.
No. There are rumors I've been hearing that the price for Brad would be somewhere in the 8 range, which I think is a lot.
Him and Marner have the opportunity to do something real funny.
They do have the opportunity.
Mitch Marner and Brad Marchand, come on down. You are both Boston Bruins.
So goes Marchand to the Leafs.
You know, this might be crazy, but I actually see a very important culture fit in Utah.
For Brad Marchand.
I think they'd be willing to pay Marchand.
Okay.
First of all, and what he brings to the locker room and his mentorship for their young center core. I mean, come on. Now, do I think he wants to stay in Florida? Yes. Do I think he'll get paid enough? Is the question.
So I don't know what his relationship was with one Mr. Jim Montgomery, but does he go to St. Louis?
The St. Louis culture would actually be very much a place for Brad Marchand to fit into.
It's a great fit.
Yeah.
A great fit.
It really would. Because St. Louis they didn't really change their culture even after Berube was gone.
Guys to sign. Like, the roster's pretty full. They don't have a lot of
St. Louis is weirdly good considering how quiet they're about to be. Which is a testament to just how,
imagine.
Pretty much well off they are. Yeah. Brad Marchand in a St. Louis.
Very fun fit there.
Could be very fun.
It could be. The city of Boston might have a heart attack seeing him in a Blues jersey. But then again, they're already not able to cope with him being in a Panthers jersey. So
Look, he's already won 1 medal with Binnington, so
that's a good point.
Why not go after the cup with
Binnington? He has in fact won a medal with noted Canadian hero Jordan Binnington. Yeah, if I had to pick anywhere for Brad Marchand, Utah's actually a pretty good bet. That would be interesting. Like, if you want to make a splash, a Marner or a Marchand would be that kind of person to grab. I feel
Imagine how many Utah Brad Marchand jerseys would get bought.
Oh, they will.
They signed him.
They will sell out within a day. The website will crash because they got Brad Marchand.
It's a good thing that's not how they make jerseys.
Yes.
It's a good thing they let you pick the player afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's the bright side. Yeah. I feel like St. Louis, actually, now I'm thinking more about it, might be a fun spot. It's probably not where he ends up. I don't think he stays in Florida either, unfortunately. Screw it. Ottawa.
Washington?
You know,
I can't see it.
I can't, it's hard to picture it.
Really?
Okay, elaborate.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm going to need an explanation here.
Okay, Washington likes to play hard. I mean, they got Tom Wilson. All the young guys know how to hit.
Yeah, it's true.
I think it could be kind of fun. Or honestly, Carolina would be a fun fit.
I mean, they
he would fit in there great.
They do need a goal scoring threat.
Make my life hell, but like,
Well, yeah. The Islanders.
I think he wants to contend.
Exactly. I think he wants to win. Yeah.
He's been having a good time in Florida the last couple days.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has been having a lot of fun in Florida.
He's been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, he just says, "I don't need money."
Yeah. I'll play for free. And then Gary Bettman hears that and goes, lockout! Now! Oh, Lord. Yeah.
The NHL letting themselves lock out with the product they currently have on the ice would be the stupidest thing I could ever see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'll say is they are not the fastest growing sport in the U.S. and nor is the NBA.
No.
Nor is the MLB.
Well, but
Fastest. Yusuf, what's the fastest growing sport in America?
I'm not answering the question. I plead the fifth.
Do you know what it is,
No, actually, I don't.
Alex?
I mean, I have silly guesses.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them are real. I mean, the joke answer is pickleball.
No, it's soccer, guys. MLS.
Yeah, the MLS is growing pretty fast in the U.S. Thanks,
They're
Messi.
expanding. They're adding teams.
Wow. Which, like,
NHL could not afford a lockout.
LA's got
No.
2 of them, like all the other leagues.
yeah, exactly.
LA's got their two MLS.
Yeah, the NHL can't afford a lockout right now because this would be people would just be mad. Like, yeah, we were
They got
furious
4
last
nations
time.
right. They got 4 nations
They did.
right.
I'm so glad they're sticking
And
to
That
it.
was the best part of the season, to be honest with you all.
Yes.
That tournament was something else.
It was the best part of the season.
Yep.
It was incredible for the league's product. Hilarious. The hilarious side-by-side comparison to the NBA All-Star Game was pretty funny.
Oh, absolutely.
And now that you have the NBA planning for the next All-Star Game is going to be a U.S. versus World.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It's a crazy time when the NBA is looking at the NHL for ideas for broadcast.
Yep.
But it's a good time. It's a very good time. Speaking of having a good time, gentlemen, I think it'd be a good time to wrap this up. Do we have any final thoughts? I would like to make mine quickly. This has been a great time. I'm glad we're bringing the podcast back. Alex, we are very glad to have you.
I'm very
Welcome to the
happy be
family.
here.
Welcome to the
I'll make it my
shenanigans.
responsibility to stay up late so you guys can get your sleep, not caring about West Coast teams.
Fair enough. We do need a West Coast correspondent.
I'm a night owl, so it's fine.
Yeah, oh my God, that's not even like. There are days I'll like go to bed. I do whatever, right? I wake up. I see a text from Tyler. When did he send this? Oh, 4 a.m. Like, was it okay? I can't remember if this was the last time I visited you or the first time when I came over for the draft. It was like the day before I left. I just see a text from you at like 3 a.m. being like, "Hey, what time's your flight coming in?" And I'm like, in like 7 hours." And you were like, "Oh, okay, cool." I'm like, "Have you slept?" No.
Sleep is for the weak.
Exactly.
Get up, boys.
But yeah, gentlemen, this has been great. And for those listening, welcome to Up the Boards. We're gonna have fun here. We'll probably be back around the time of free agency, if not a little after, to talk about all the chaos of free agency. Until then, stay tuned. Bye-bye.